Hello, welcome back to T&T Go Dutch. We're in Wassenaar today.
Yeah, Wassenaar is a city that's kind of outside The Hague. It's known for being a really nice city, a smaller city, like a little suburb of The Hague.
Definitely feels a bit more modern than some of the other cities we've visited.
Yeah, and it's also known for having the American embassy here, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's kind of unique because most of the other embassies, consulate situations are in The Hague or Amsterdam. But this one's in Wassenaar.
They needed a little bit more space, so quite a few years ago they moved.
Americans need more space?
Yeah, it's true.
What?
But they moved out to Wassenaar, and they have a nice area. Apparently it has a lake and everything. We're not going to go out there.
That's not why we're here.
No, because it is kind of a secure facility, so we don't want to go running around with cameras in there. But with that, we did want to talk about some things that are top of mind for us.
Sure. So we are heading back to the U.S. in like a week. Mm-hmm. And Travis and I have been having these discussions about over the past year. We've been doing a lot of reflecting over some of the hard truths of being an American or expat immigrant in the Netherlands or really anywhere abroad.
This one is definitely has a lot of American in it, though, because some of the things we're going to be talking about are the hard truths for Americans and the hard truths for us that we had to experience as we moved here and lived here.
And this is totally our personal experience and what we've encountered over the last year. So definitely take that in mind too.
And stay to the end because we do have one not so hard truth that's a little funny here.
Oh, yeah.
Stay tuned. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. We're working our way towards 5,000 and we'll be there soon. So we could use your help.
So come with us along in Wassenaar, and we'll do a little bit of chatting about the hard truths.
The first one's probably going to be the most controversial.
Yes, and in the very Dutch direct way, no one's coming to visit you.
No one's coming to visit you. And that's okay. A lot of people, when you're in the U.S. or wherever else, and you're getting ready to move to someplace else, like for us, the Netherlands, you're going to hear a lot of people say, I'm going to come visit you.
How exciting. Save a spot for me. Save your bedroom for me.
Get a 2-bedroom so we can stay over. We have had 2 people come visit us.
Yes, your parents.
And my best friend and his wife. They came and visited us each for about a week. Mm-hmm. And it was really nice seeing them. But so many people said they were going to come visit.
Yeah, and I think that's the most frustrating thing because we totally understand not feasibly being able to make the journey, whether it's financial, logistical. There's a war going on in Europe right now. Mm-hmm. So we get that. I think what's frustrating is hearing everyone say, oh, I'm going to come.
Yeah. And we know that it's a little bit for you themselves. Whenever things like that happen, you want to feel involved. You want to feel that you're part of it. So you say, oh, I'm going to come visit so that you are not lost in everything.
It's definitely kind of feels like it's what you're supposed to say
right.
when somebody moves. And thankfully, we live in a day and age where we have things like FaceTime and we're able to call pretty frequently. You play games with your best friend online every Sunday. So we've made connections like that. However, some of those relationships that we had in the U.S. Unfortunately get a little bit weaker with our time here.
Yeah. You have to work at it. It's going to be an effort. It's going to take time. And if you don't put the time in from both sides, it's not going to be the way you want it to be.
With those harsh words being said, we do love and miss all of our family, and we're not angry. It's just
life.
It's just life, and it's just how we feel.
The second hard truth that you're going to have to deal with as an American living abroad is kind of true for everywhere. And that's that life is going to keep going on even after you leave.
And of course, we knew that was going to happen when we moved over here. So it wasn't a super big shock to us. But when those events like birthdays, weddings, funerals, births happen and you're not there, it stings a little bit. And Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we both experienced that. We have missed important life events that have occurred for many people, and it's rough.
There's some guilt associated with that as well, that we're over here living our lives and trying to build something new for ourselves while trying to stay in touch. And it's definitely for me the thing that keeps me up at night.
And especially with loved ones that are getting older, you worry about how much time do you really have left with them. And getting the phone call of bad news is a worry that I have a lot as well.
Yeah, we're exactly not a quick drive away from our loved ones. We're a 10-hour plane ride.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not exactly easy. But one of the things we did to sort of ease our minds when we first got over here was we created a buffer of funds. So if there was an emergency, we could go.
Yeah. And thankfully it's not been a situation that we've had to use that yet, but we do try and go back twice a year right now. And it is hard. And it's not just the personal stuff. The U.S. keeps going on, and the drama, the news, the things there. If you haven't watched our video on expats watching American politics from afar, it's crazy. One thing you should not be doing, though, is missing your opportunity to vote.
Yes.
If you're an American living abroad, you can still vote.
It's your right.
And there's a website that you can go to that Tracey and I are both registered for the midterm elections.
Yep. It's votefromabroad.org.
And we'll put a link to that in the comments below. But you still have time, when this video comes out, you still have time to be able to register to vote.
I believe it's through October 9th. And this website will direct you based on what state you previously lived in. For Texas, you have to request every election. And you can get it online, or they'll send you a physical ballot, but they're required to do so.
So if you can, we're not telling you who to vote for, but we are telling you to get out there and vote.
Absolutely.
Tracey and I got into an Uber and came to a place she was very excited about.
The Lentevreugd.
I'm not sure if that's right, but we can try it out.
And it was supposed to be a nature preserve where there's wild horses and Highland cows that you can walk, and they are allowed to come up to you and such. And it does not appear that that is the case.
But we can still see them. They're over there. They're just a little further away. I don't think they really want to deal with the humans right now. But this is definitely isolated.
Yeah, we pretty much have the whole place to ourselves.
It's really, really pretty, though.
Yeah, great place to dump a body.
Jeez.
Apologies for my dark sense of humor, but October and Halloween are upon us.
Yeah, we did make it back into town.
Anyway, the third hard truth is that learning a new language is not always easy, and it always makes me laugh, the comments that we get that are like, Dutch is so easy, this should be easy for you.
Yeah, it's not, mainly because we didn't grow up speaking it. We didn't grow up speaking a language even similar to it. I learned Spanish in school, and I can speak Spanish decently.
And same with French. I think a big advantage of the Dutch education system is that when the children are small, you learn essentially two languages. And the older you are, the older your brain gets, the harder it is to retain that information as an adult. And
I know people from Belgium and such that they speak 3 or 4 languages because they have to.
It's amazing, and we just don't have that advantage, so it is a bit slower of a process for us.
The great thing is that we do have some tools that help us out. We can use Google Translate for a lot of things. Apple just added the translations for Dutch, so that's really helpful. You can have some communications. It's not as good as speaking Dutch.
If you missed our video last week, we talk all about why it's important to learn Dutch, and like we said in that video, it's definitely an ongoing journey, but it does make everyday tasks that much more difficult. I'm the type of person who needs to write out my grocery list so I don't miss anything, and for me, a task that would normally take me 5 minutes in the US takes me 3 or 4 times as long. It used to be way longer.
But it also, we can do a lot of small conversations. It's just, as soon as we need to have anything that's real, it's going to get harder. And we really appreciate everybody's patience with us. And we've been getting some text messages and some messages on Instagram in Dutch. So it's really cool to be able to get those.
Yeah, thank you.
The last hard truth that we're going to cover today is going to be how hard it is to really make friends as an adult.
And the foreigner in a country where you don't speak the native language very well.
And we've met some people that are really nice, like our neighbors, that we've made really good friends with, and it's been awesome getting to know them.
We've made friends within the expat community in Leiden, which has been really great. But actually having those deep connections like we had back in the US, and the affection that goes along with that, like the hugs and just the touches and things like that, that doesn't seem to be very prevalent. And I think it's just because we're kind of outsiders.
I don't know the last time I got a hug from somebody who wasn't you.
Tammy and Eric in Amsterdam last week. Thanks for the hugs, guys.
Yeah, and if you want to see some of those adventures, head over to our Instagram or to theirs to be able to see some more about that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not common.
No, not that we've experienced. And like I said, maybe it's because we are outsiders and there is that
COVID.
Yeah, there is that, how long are they going to stay here? Are they actually putting down roots? And honestly, that question is something that fluctuates week to week, month to month for us. We're trying to figure it out as well. So I can understand that.
But it's hard. It's hard not being able to hug your family or to be able to have that and be able to have some of that connection that you normally would have.
Well, we are going to have plenty of hugs in the next couple weeks with our family, and I'm grateful I get to hug you every day.
And Tabasco.
Tabasco.
The last one's not so hard truth, but it's
funny.
It's something you're going to have to live with if you move abroad or you live in the Netherlands. And the first one is, why are you here?
We have a video for that. We'll put it down below.
Yeah. Short answer, though, is we got a job here, and we're going to live our lives and see what it's like.
And hopefully you try to start a family.
Yeah. The second one is going to be politics. The Dutch love to talk about American politics with Americans.
And to be fair, it is quite entertaining.
Yeah.
But you'll get asked about that a ton.
Yeah. A lot of questions about how do we feel about the presidency? How do we feel about Trump? All of that type of stuff comes up quite often. Third one is this next to kind of Texas specific is did you own guns? And that one comes up. And we have to give the answer to that one. And I did, but it's not something I had anymore, and it's not something I ever shot in anger.
No.
It was always just a practice thing and more of a hobby than anything else, really.
Did you own trucks?
I did own a truck. I had a truck for a while. That was my first car was a truck. I had a Chevrolet pickup truck. But
I'm glad you didn't have that when I met you.
We ended up, when we left the U.S., we both had cars because it was easier, and we didn't really haul a whole bunch of heavy stuff very often.
This next one is more New York specific. Mm-hmm. When I tell people that I grew up in the state of New York, they assume that I was drinking Cosmopolitans in Manhattan with Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City.
Yeah, or, you were spending the weekend going down to Brooklyn for a coffee.
In reality, I grew up about 6 hours north of the city, so practically Canada.
It's like if you say you're from the Netherlands and everybody assumes you're from Amsterdam.
Yeah, for sure. And then the last one is really funny, and you were having a conversation with some of your foreign coworkers about this yesterday.
And it's, do you eat peanut butter and jelly together? Like the sandwiches.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Which is such an American non-issue. We eat peanut butter and jelly all the time.
I think a lot of children sustain on that for the longest time as kids.
And it's just this weird concept that this exists. The thing about being here, though, is some of the foods you can't get that you would normally get in the U.S. in the supermarket. You can't get it here, but there are some places you can go to be able to get it, like this place. There's Kelly's Expat is a British/American store. It's about 2/3 British, 1/3 American, but they have some really cool stuff in there.
You can get all the comforts of home for a price.
Yeah, it's definitely more expensive than your normal grocery store, but there's some really cool things in there. Why don't we go check out some stuff that's in?
We'll take you along with us.
Kelly's Expat's really cool. There's a lot of really good stuff in there. What was your favorite thing that you got from your shopping?
My best friend grew up outside of London and is obsessed with prawn cocktail flavored chips. So I've got some that I'm bringing to her when I go visit her in Denver.
Yeah.
And super excited to find this. We had this at a bar in Leiden. It's a rhubarb and custard hard cider. So yummy.
Mm-hmm.
And what were your favorite things you got?
We got a little bit of stuffing or dressing if you're from the South, and it's going to be really good for Thanksgiving, but it won't make it to Thanksgiving.
No, we'll probably eat it this week.
Tracey loves stuffing. These are our hard truths and the things that we've experienced. If you have other things, please put them in the comments down below and share some of your experiences. Thank you all for joining us this week.
We will see you next week.
Bye.